The drama surrounding Cleveland's quarterback future has shifted in a way that nobody expected, and yet somehow it makes more sense than anything that came before it. For months, Shadur Sanders existed in a strange space between potential and neglect, between flashes of promise and stretches of silence. He was never supposed to be the answer, not in the original plan. He was supposed to be a depth piece, a late-round project, someone to sit quietly while the real plan unfolded. But plans collapse when reality arrives, and reality arrived fast in Cleveland. When Oregon quarterback Dante Moore announced he would stay another year, the entire draft board tilted. What once looked like a deep quarterback class suddenly became thin. The safety nets disappeared overnight. Teams that thought they could wait were forced to look at what they already had. Cleveland looked around and realized something uncomfortable. The free agent market was full of names they already knew too well, players who had already failed them, already disappointed them, already written chapters they did not want to reread. There was no magic fix waiting outside the building. There was only what was already inside it. That is where Shadur Sanders quietly moved from afterthought to option. Not because of hype, not because of headlines, but because when you strip away noise, numbers and reality do not lie. In his limited chances, he gave the offense more life than anyone else on the roster. He extended plays. He stood tall under pressure. He did not look scared, even when the pocket collapsed around him. He took hits, got up, and kept going. That matters more than perfect stats. That matters more than polished press conferences. That matters when a franchise is searching for something real. What people refuse to admit is how broken his situation actually was. He did not walk into stability. He walked into chaos. Pressure hit him faster than any quarterback in the league. Over 40% of his snaps involved defenders in his face. That is not football. That is survival. And yet those pressures did not turn into sacks at the same rate as others. That means he was moving, sliding, escaping, keeping his eyes up, finding space where none should exist. You do not do that by accident. You do that because you feel the game. The narrative around him never matched the reality. People called him stiff. The tape said otherwise. People said he could not move. The numbers exposed that lie. People said he panicked. But quarterbacks who panic take sacks. They freeze. They fold. He did not. He adapted in the middle of chaos, with little support, little trust, and little preparation. And preparation is where everything broke down. Shadur was never groomed to start. He was never given real first-team reps. He was never treated like a future option. Kevin Stefanski had his plan and locked into it early. Dylan Gabriel was supposed to be the guy. That was the vision. When that vision collapsed, Shadur was thrown into cold water without a life vest. No rhythm. No chemistry. No trust built through repetition. He was asked to perform in public what he had never been allowed to build in private. Then people judged him for not being perfect. That is not development. That is negligence. Young quarterbacks need rhythm. They need trust. They need reps. They need protection. They need coaches who are willing to let them fail forward instead of hiding them from mistakes. Shadur never had that. He had pressure, doubt, and silence. And yet, even in that, he showed enough to force the conversation back to him. Now the conversation has changed completely. Cleveland insiders are saying Shadur Sanders is being prepared as the Browns starter for 2026. Not as a placeholder. Not as a backup plan. But as the direction. That does not happen by accident. That happens when a building looks at its options and realizes the answer might already be in the room. And the truth is simple. He costs almost nothing. A rookie deal gives the team freedom instead of fear. No panic signings. No throwing money at names that failed somewhere else. No recycling disappointment. With Shadur, you can build instead of patch. You can invest in protection, in weapons, in coaching, instead of gambling on desperation. When you compare him to the other options, the gap becomes obvious. Backup-level quarterbacks stay backups for a reason. They do not suddenly become answers. They become delays. Shadur, on the other hand, has already shown flashes of something more. Not perfection, but possibility. And possibility is what rebuilding teams live on. The real question is whether Cleveland will finally act like it understands what it has. If the Browns are serious about Shadur, The first move must be the offensive line. Not tweaking it, not patching it, rebuilding it. Draft linemen early. Spend money in free agency. Protect your quarterback before you judge him. Every good team does this. Every failing team ignores it and blames the quarterback afterward. Next is coaching. Kevin Stefanski's system has not helped young quarterbacks grow. It has limited them. Conservative calls, tight leashes, fear of mistakes. That style does not build confidence. Kills it. Shedeur is not a check-down robot. He sees big plays and takes them. Sometimes that creates magic. Sometimes it creates mistakes. That is how young quarterbacks learn. You do not teach growth by hiding from risk. You teach it by managing it. Then come the weapons. A quarterback without separation is a quarterback guessing. Jerry Jeudy did not change the offense. He did not scare defenses. Cleveland needs a real number one. Someone defenses must respect. Someone who changes coverage. Someone who gives a young quarterback a safety valve that is actually dangerous. Fix those three things and the story changes fast. Protection, coaching, weapons. Do that and then judge Shadur Sanders. Until then, blaming him is not analysis. It is avoidance. What makes this moment powerful is that Cleveland has a chance to finally stop lying to itself. Stop pretending systems matter more than players. Stop protecting plans that fail. Stop recycling names that already disappointed them. For once, they can commit to development instead of shortcuts. Shedeur has already survived the hardest part. He has survived being ignored, rushed, doubted, and pressured more than anyone else in the league. He did not fold. He did not disappear. He waited. Now the door is opening again, not because of hype, but because reality left no other choice. If Cleveland does this right, the story could flip completely. The same people who buried him early will pretend they believed all along. The same system that failed him will claim credit for his growth. That is how sports always work. But none of that matters to him. What matters is finally getting a fair structure around him. This is no longer about whether Shadur Sanders can be great. It is about whether Cleveland can finally stop getting in its own way. Because quarterbacks do not fail in isolation. They fail in environments. They fail in chaos. They fail in systems that do not trust them. Change the environment and you change the story. Now the future is standing in front of the Browns, quietly, without hype, waiting to see what they choose to do. So now it is your turn. Do you believe Cleveland is finally ready to build around Shadur Sanders the right way? Or will they repeat the same mistakes that have ruined quarterbacks for years? Do you trust this organization to fix the offensive line, change the coaching mindset, and give him real weapons? Or do you think this will become another wasted opportunity? Drop your thoughts below. Share this with every Browns fan who wants real answers.